Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for a purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. For uses of use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now let's start this dang show.
You gonna have any fights this week? Oh man, we gotta have some fights.
What is up, everybody? It's only me right now. Asylum has broken out of his padded cage, and we're on the lookout for him. So if you see a crazy guy with a cage on his head and a straitjacket, you let me know, because he has been missing. No, he's on special assignment out in the Cheese State out in Wisconsin. But anyways, it's just me right now. But I do have a special guest, and we all know her and we all love her. And I know everyone is waiting to hear from her. It's been a while. So Asylum is on special assignment. Yes, see. But yes, so it's just me doing the cage match. And but before we get into our special guest, our lesson from our professor, I just want to talk about the upcoming NFL dates. We got the scouting combine. Yeah, the scouting combine is on right now, and it'll end on the 2nd. And then that's when the franchise tags deadline is right in the 3rd. So the real season, the NFL season, is starting to come back, where all the transactions, all the fun stuff happens, where we get to try to see if we can win the off season. Because yeah, we got all these free agents. So anyways, let's get into it. We have our special guest coming up. So without further ado, let me go and do that. Let me turn off this music real quick. Okay. Let me go and roll out the red carpet. Here we go. Hey, how you doing, Miss Peggy?
Hello. And it's been a while, hadn't it? I miss you guys. I just had to come on. The old teaching professor is back on the beat now, so I'm unavailable during the week now. But I miss talking about the Raiders with you guys, because this off season is so crucial. I mean, last year was such a disappointment. I mean, from so many perspectives for us. I mean, this time last year, what were you doing? I know you were in Acapulco on the beach. But seriously, what were you thinking when we hired Pete Carroll?
I was I said, okay. I know that I know he wasn't the first choice, but I was like, okay, we got Pete Carroll. He's been around. He's won with Seattle, and then he has one of a few head coaches that's won a national championship, and then the Super Bowl. So I said, okay, we got adults in the room now, people who know what they're doing,
Right.
and that didn't translate the way we all thought it was gonna work out.
And it's more than just a thing, the game is passing by. No, that just simplifies it to an idiot level. It's about a coaching style. And that's something, if the Raiders, as many mistakes as we've had, 12 head coaches in 24 years, you making the kind of decision you're making for the future of your franchise, you have to do your homework. And I don't understand why anybody thinks that the pick they made last year coaching pick is going to be any different than the pick they did this year. Did they learn anything? I mean, you could have asked any Seattle fan, what is Pete Carroll's coaching style? Other than looking at his record, we know he can win games, but what is Pete Carroll's coaching style? Is he a right fit for the players that we have right now? And I don't think those kind of questions were asked of Kubiak. I think, once again, we're going out for a name coach, offensive coach that we've heard, but we don't know if this guy can coach. What are you thinking about with Kubiak?
I know with this hire, he has a better chance at staying for a second year because everyone knows that they finally said the bad word, which is rebuild. They finally admitted that this team needed to rebuild, not reload, not repack, not whatever. They just been retard, but now they're going to reload. I'm sorry. They're going to rebuild. And they finally said it out loud. And they have a young coach who's coming in the first time as a head coach, came off of a Super Bowl victory just last month as offensive coordinator. So that he's going to be around for at least 2 years because you never know with how these Raiders for the last 20-something years. But
see, let's take keep that graphic up. Let's take a good hard look at exactly what he's done. Okay, first red flag: 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. Okay, that's your first red flag. The second red flag here is that what are we looking at in terms of the success of their offenses? Okay, and you're looking at offenses that have ranked like teens or higher. I mean, that's the second thing. The third thing is, we just talked about it off camera. Remember I told you about the 1 year, what I call them, one hit wonders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The first year, because nobody else knows what you're doing. Nobody has any film on you. Nobody sees what you have done with the players that you have, right? You don't have key injuries like the quarterback position. Well, of course, nobody knows. You're going to do real good the first year. But it's what you do after they know what you're doing. We just saw with the Redskins, Kingsbury, right? Did they kick him out? Is he gone?
He
1 year.
Yeah.
Basically,
well, he decided to leave. Now he's looking for a job.
Yeah. See, that's what I talk about with the one hit wonders. CJ Stroud, another example, one hit wonders. Or Jaden Daniels. You see, it's not what you do the first time they see you, because they don't know nothing about you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any film. Give teams in the NFL a good off season to review your film, and then a couple more off-season review, then tell me how good he's doing. And that's what I asked about the Seattle assignment. Sure, he was great. So was Kingsbury last year with the Redskins. But as soon as they got to review film, what happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where's your plan?
And that's like a couple years back when the Wildcat was like this greatest offense, and
I
then
like the Wildcat. I like
they
that
figured
kid.
it out the following year after Tony Sparano introduced it in Miami, and then the following year they figured it out. All the teams try to do it, and then it's like, and I'm going off of plays, not like
Right.
systems or whatever, but like the tush push was the one they were trying to ban because the Eagles were the only ones that could perform it.
Mhm.
Now that other teams kind of figured out how to stop it, I kind of figured out how to run it themselves. You don't hear that back on the chopping block of trying to get rid of it, for this upcoming one because, oh, we figured it out. Never mind. You can still run it. Never mind. We figured it out.
And the first time you wear a dress, women know this, right? First time you wear a dress, everybody like, oh, you look, you bad. You look great in that dress. Second time I see it, oh, I like that dress on you. Third time I see it, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't know about Kubiak. Everybody's calling him off. He did so great in Seattle. Well, yeah, the first year. He's had a lot of first years, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
One year and out. The last 5 jobs. And that tells you something. I don't know about the guy. I don't know about his personality. And I sure hope the Raiders did their homework better than what they did last year. I'm just tired of us not getting the guy that fits the team we have. And I don't know whether Kubiak's that guy. I don't know whether Kubiak can be a head coach. He's Lordy knows he's been around long enough.
Well, the one thing that I said this before, that because people are saying, well, give him a year or two so he can bring in his own guys and all that. But this Raider team coming up, I mean, they're basically stripped down to just 2 and 3 year guys because all the veterans that they have, they're about to go onto the free agency market. So on defense,
Out of here.
you got all of them going. If they don't get re-signed, and on offense, I mean, there's a lot of guys that's going to be gone. So this team is basically stripped for the most part for him to start bringing in his own guys. And then with our money, we're the second highest cap space with 87.9 behind the Titans, who has like 90
numbers. To me, those are meaningless. I don't trust Spytech. He's a second-year GM, and based on what I saw from him last year, not doing anything about that O-line, I don't care who ran the team. See, people are going to say, oh, well, we don't know whether Pete was telling him what to do. Wait a minute, put the handcuffs on that guy. I don't want a GM, a weak GM that fetches coffee and does what the coach. Aren't Raider fans sick of that? McKenzie, Mayock, Ziegler. Aren't we sick and tired of GMs that just do what the coach tell them to do? Like Pagino. Another thing that Spytech allowed to happen. I need a GM with some backbone. And the second thing is we need a GM that knows how to attract free agents. That's his biggest job this year, not the draft. I'm saying this right now. It's the ability, the job that he has attracting free agents to come to the Raiders. Come on, Savage. Tell me the barriers right away when you're a GM approaching a top vet. Come sign with me. What's the GM going to be thinking? What's that player going to be thinking about? Come on, you give me the list. Everybody in the NFL knows it. And if you fans out there don't know it, we're getting ready to tell you what Spytech is facing.
Yeah. The way the franchise has treated a lot of their big name players, Derek Carr. You had Max Crosby right now, whatever's going on with him.
Devontae,
Devontae.
And that madness last year that happened with Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Total madness.
Yeah.
Guy gave you 3 strong years. And you're gonna treat him like that.
Yeah.
What Raider fans don't understand is agents, players, mid-level execs, GMs, the media, everybody is watching how we treat players and coaches too. Running Telesco out after 1 year. You know, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? People are watching that. Tell me what else with the other barriers. I know it's great. Oh, come to Vegas. We don't have no income tax. What do they care?
We got the Blue Man Group.
Accountants to handle that for them, right?
We have many venues. We got the Sphere. We have the Bellagio fountains. We got it all, man. Just
we got it all. You know, we give you
free buffets,
free tips at Caesars, right? Big tips that you want. But this is the problem. Like you said, the way that we have treated players, coaches, everybody. We're not loyal. We're not grateful. We don't take care of our players. That's what Spy Tech has to overcome. And so, yes, he has to overpay. Now let's talk about where you want vets. Tell me the positions where you want free agent vets. And by the way, you don't have to pay them. You can trade for them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You got capital to trade. So where do you think we need vets?
Of course, we got to build.
The audience, we need a list of positions. Raiders need vets.
We need offensive linemen. That's for the first. That's the main thing. We need to get this offensive line settled and whatever. Especially in the interior, we need interior. We need guards. Because like I said, let me show what we're about to get rid of. Guys like Dylan Parham, which I'm kind of over now. Guys like
didn't he put on a lot of weight last year? He gained 30 pounds and still can't move nobody.
He was the revolving door on that offensive line. He kept getting spun around, and it could be that because of the offensive line, the coach, offensive line coach, Brennan Carroll.
No, the line was bad before Carroll. I don't know why people have this, amnesia. And I know how traumatic last year was. I was traumatized too. I really was. But that O-line was bad before Carroll got to town. Stop it. 2024 season, 31st in rushing, 50 sacks, one quarterback injured twice, Aiden O'Connell, and one quarterback gone for the season, Minshew. Don't start telling me about Brennan Carroll. It was garbage in 24. It was still garbage in 25. The only thing he's guilty of is not improving it.
Well, we brought in our star guard in Alex Kappa, so I thought, okay, here we go. No, I didn't.
Another strike against Spy Tech.
That was the only offensive help we brought in.
Free agent movement we had on that O-line. No one looking at the 2024 film of that O-line, no one could not know that upgrading O-line wasn't a top priority in 25, and yet nothing. Spy Tech has to earn my confidence. Everybody on that coaching staff has to earn my confidence. Don't sit up there and tell me how good they gonna be. We don't know nothing. Yeah. Right now, we know nothing. We thought we knew everything last year, right? We just knew we got a vet. I was traumatized.
A vet head coach, a vet offensive coordinator, and Chip Kelly.
We was sick.
A veteran quarterback and Geno Smith. They're like, okay, maybe we're gonna make some noise. We made a lot of noise.
We've been at least 6-7 games,
noise.
Right?
Yeah. And then with John Gruden coming in 2018, 2018, we're like, okay, familiarity, okay, and then everything that happened, we were having a great season. 2021, okay. Versace takes over. A lot of us were all like, let's Versace, because he kept that going. They decided to go Josh McDaniels. A lot of us, I wasn't a Josh McDaniels fan when he got hired. And a lot of that kind of showed up. And then it kind of showed up again in the Super Bowl this past last month. Antonio Pierce came in. We're like, okay, well, he got the team going. At least the energy was back. And 2024 showed that experience still does matter.
Oh,
Pete Carroll comes in.
Please, but we don't even need to know. Chemistry matters.
Yeah.
You got to do your homework on this guy. Right now, the Raiders are so effed up as an organization, they don't even know what they need. You see, if you know your organization and you kind of know the direction, you have a strong leadership for that front office, then you know what kind of coach you need to hire. So now another strike against Spy Tech. He didn't have nothing to do with hiring Pete Carroll. It was just all Mark. Blame Mark. I thought Tom Brady helped last year.
Pete Carroll wasn't the first option, but he ended up becoming the head coach.
It doesn't matter. You gotta hire the guy who you understand, knowing your organization, the talent that you have. You got to hire the guy that's the right chemistry fit, not because he's a marquee name gonna put fans in the seat. Remember, Mark's already got his seat sold. That's why I laugh when people talk about we're gonna boycott them. Right, Mark's already been paid. He done took that check to the bank and cashed it. He ain't thinking about your boycott. But let's go back to that list. You said center, 2 guards. How many of them do you want to be vets? 3 positions.
I'm so going to go back to.
And I don't even want anybody to tell me about Powers Jackson because we already know what happens when a guy is gone for a whole year and he's coming back. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on him. Just plug him in unless he's a super athlete, and super athletes don't get hurt. But I what does they say? I digress. You said 2 guards and a center. How many of them you want to be vets? I don't want to hear talk about the draft. Just kill that talk. Break glass for emergency. You know, you heard, you seen them little announcements on TV, you know, where they go to this rainbow.
Yeah.
Wait, stand by for an emergency broadcast. You know, do not change the channel. There's where we are on O-line. I don't need a draft pick. I need veteran experience. I've got some young guys, right, that I drafted last year. They sure could use the guidance, right? And the help. How many out of those 3 positions, how many do you want to be vet?
I want the whole offense line to be vets. That's like if there's no offensive line, there's no team. You need that offensive line. Well, at least if you can't stop points, you have an offensive line to try to score points. Well, every game will be a shootout like the 2016 team.
But look at the free agent list. I'm already looking at one guy that was on our team before, Simpson.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see a free agent list and there's a guy that you let go back on that list, you got a problem.
Oh, the same thing on the tackles, Trent Brown.
Overwhelmed. We have some. Yeah, I mean,
Illuminor. I wasn't a big Illuminor fan.
When you see guys that have already been on your team, you let them go. You see what I'm saying? We didn't keep them. We let them go.
Yeah. Half our defense was in the Super Bowl this past Super Bowl.
I mean, and you know, everybody said, I want Linderbaum in here. That goes back to our conversation, guys. What makes you think he and his agent want us? Who wants to come to the Raiders? That's Spy Check's biggest job this year. That's going to tell me whether he's a GM that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
He needs to get out there on that free agent market. I don't care what you have to pay them. I don't care who you have to trade to get them or what you have to trade. May have to give up that number 1 pick. That's how serious the guard situation is. Maybe we're looking at some guards that aren't on the free agent list. How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have a situation where your O-line, which is the center, not the quarterback, the O-line is the center of your offense, okay? We're past the emergency situation. We've been running on E for 2 straight years. We need some gas, right? We don't have an option now. We must stop at the next gas station. You don't have an O-line, you don't have an offense. You can draft the top running back, you can draft the top quarterback. Irrelevant, meaningless without that guard situation fixed. It has to be fixed, and it has to be fixed with vets and Spy Tech. I don't know what he's going to do. What is he going to offer him? What do you think? What's the going rate now? What do you think the going rate is? Tell somebody out there, audience, what's the going rate on a guard? $15 million a year?
They are. Let me see. I have that list too. I can tell you right now what these guys are going for.
What are they making? You know, it's about $15 million. What's the going rate? May have to put a premium on top of it. You know, I was going to say double tap, but that has 2 meanings. You got to put, excuse me, you have to put something extra on that. You've got to offer more guaranteed money. How you structure the contract makes a difference. And like I said, y'all may have to trade that little precious number 1 pick to get you some guards. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are past the point of discussion about this. It's a no option thing now. 2 years have gone by and we made 0 improvements to that line, other than drafting. And draft is irrelevant. I need guys that know how to play right now.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that a lot of us were getting upset last year, because we did have guys like the season was over, throwing the rookies that we have, so we know what we have for next year and what can we build on from next year. And we didn't see that happen until like the last 2 games of the season. So we still need to know, like offensive line, we still need to know what Charles Grant, how he can go, in a full season, Caleb Rogers in the full season, and then really see in his 3rd year, Jackson Powers Johnson, who, like you said, missed the majority of the season.
He did.
I just like there was a lot of playing around with the offensive line, and instead of trying to make players, fit them in right positions, they were just stuck in their ways. We're gonna have this guy here and this guy here, and that's it. We're not gonna do nothing else.
Right, but see, that's the story of the franchise, from the front office down to the player position. We just don't know what we need. We've been so directionless. We've been so leaderless. We keep changing the system. We are the only team in NFL history that has changed offensive coordinators twice in back-to-back years. Twice. We've had 4 offensive coordinators in 2 years.
Yeah.
How can you know what you need? Who's right? And Rick Dennison is the new offensive line coach.
Yes.
Last time he was offensive line coach was in Denver, I believe. Well, no. Excuse me. There we go again. 1 year with the Jets. That didn't work out. 1 year with New Orleans. 1 year with Seattle. And 2 years with the Vikings. 1 year with Buffalo. See, when you see a guy's, this is a member of the Good Old Boys Coaching Network. Key things. They keep changing teams over and over and over again. And I know things happen. Coach gets fired, but one year. That's a red flag, guys. I don't know what it's saying, but it is a red flag. There's no continuity.
Yeah, I was in with the Saints at 2024. That was when Dennis Allen, I believe, got fired, and then they had the interim, and that was
Right.
the same year with where Kubiak was there in that same year.
Yeah, they're
Wait, that's
hiring
not
these
it.
guys because they know him. All these guys
Yeah,
they're hiring because they know that's the good old boys coaching network. Okay. And they think because they know each other, they're going to be able to work well together. Okay. Right now, like I said, Pete Carroll traumatized me. That was it. I'm not predicting anything about the Raiders because of the franchise's dysfunctional decision making process. I don't know what they based the Kubiak hire on. Oh, he's on a Super Bowl team. That's probably what they said about Pete last year, right? Oh, he's won. What'd you just say? A national championship
national championship.
and a Super Bowl.
Was went to back Super Bowls. Won the first one, the second one. He should have ran the
Mhm.
ball.
Oh, you
Uh,
know, you got to use more criteria in this game. In today's game, you have to drill down a lot deeper. You have to find out his coaching style. Of course, he's going out and hiring all his buddies, just like Pete Carroll bringing us the friends and family plan. And I
the
expect,
the MCI.
seriously, I mean, but you got to expect some of that. I mean, guys are going to hire people that they've coached with. The
Yeah.
question is, can you work with them to build something together? And that's we don't know. Don't tell me nothing about Kubiak. I know nothing about him. Okay. Oh, we got Mike McCoy in here. That's the same thing I said when Chip Kelly came. Oh, goody. We have Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator coming off a national championship.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited. And
Yeah,
you gotta watch how they fill those positions and who they fill it with. We went over the coaches he brought in here, just total bum rack nonsense. He had 4 guys on that offensive coaching staff that has 0 years experience. Oh, yes. It's been, I'm traumatized. I don't know about you. What are you feeling about that roller coaster ride?
And after this past season, it's like, cause I'm one that whatever the Raiders serve Kool-Aid. Oh, okay, what flavor is it? All right, put some down, add some, and then you drink the Kool-Aid.
I want grape. Yeah.
And then
I'll
after you're
drink
like,
all the
add more
grape.
tequila to it, please. Add more tequila to that Kool-Aid because I don't know what's going on. At least
Mhm.
if I'm not going to see good football, at least let me. I don't know. And I guess that's what makes, because we don't know what's going to happen with Kubiak, but it's kind of like, it's not a big name like McDaniels, it's not a big name like Gruden, it's not a big name like Pete Carroll.
Well, I mean, if you've been around the game a little while, I know exactly who Kubiak is. Look how many teams he's been with. Every time I look up, oh, they got Kubiak on the sideline. Oh, they done hired Kubiak. For the last 10 years, all you done seen, movement. Even went jump back to coach. This is a guy just looking for a job. Okay.
Well, he's taking on one of the most impossible. Can you get the Raiders back to relevancy?
The only kind of guy we could get here. Somebody reminded me, and I forgot, there's only 32 of these jobs. Only 32.
Yeah. Well, there's 31, and then there's the Raiders job.
Then there's the Raiders job, right? The one with the pilot ejector seat, right? Mark has a little red button in his house, right?
He's got the Mr. Burns. He presses the button for the dogs to come out.
Exactly.
The trap door.
I mean, you can just see that, the guy just going, boop. That's all we've been doing especially since Mark is here. But his dad, Al, was doing the same thing, 2002 through starting with the trading of Gruden to the Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they had a little red button in their house, they just, press button for emergency. We've had so much change and turnover. We don't understand, and that's the other thing free agents are looking at, right? Who wants to go to a place where you're gonna fit in with the scheme one year, then they change coaches or coordinators, and now you don't fit the scheme? Who wants to do that?
Yeah, and that's been us. That's been us for.
It's a career issue for a player. They may indeed want to come to Vegas with them free chips at Caesars, right? But what you say, the Bellagio.
They got the Bellagio. They got the buffets.
That free buffet, right? Breakfast, lunch,
Blue Man Group,
dinner, and then the midnight snack. You get that free too. I mean, a player has got to think about their businessmen. In the end of the day, they're all businessmen, and they have got to think about their careers. Who wants to go anywhere where their job, no matter how much you're getting paid, do you think
that I guess that this hanging in the balance is Max Crosby going to be back next year or not? Do you think that's going to also sway? Do you think that's going to also sway free agents? Like, wait, you got rid of Max Crosby has been your guy for the last, going on year 8. He's been your diehard, always tatted on my arm, and now you pissed him off. So us coming in new, do you think that if the Raiders move on from Max Crosby, that it'll be seen as, well, he getting older, let him go do his thing, or the organization can't even keep their lifers in? I don't know if I want to go there.
I mean, players have to evaluate, is this the team where I want to go and let them kill my career?
Yeah.
Okay? Especially a player that's doing well and he can see an upward trajectory. He's playing better and better and better. Is this the team where I want to go to make my career better? And the answer is hell no. Not no, hell no. That's the job that Spy Tack, faces. That's where I'm going to evaluate whether he's a good GM. That's what he faces when he goes out there and starts talking to these guys. Maybe that's why we couldn't get no veterans in last year. Everybody said no. Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have directed their age. You know how players say, okay, I'm a free agent this year. Here's a list of teams I want you to look at. Do you think the Raiders are on that list? I doubt it.
Not for a season vet. Maybe towards the end of his career, hey, if they're gonna pay me, I'll go.
Oh, exactly. If he's 34 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna pay me. Matter of fact, we're on the top of that list, are we? Look what they did.
I can just retire right there. After I done playing, make my money, I can retire. They got to go to the casino.
But look what they did for Geno last year. I mean, I have fresh evidence that they're going to pay a 34-year-old guy $61.5 million guaranteed, $130 million over 3. I really feel like there's been no direction because we keep changing the program. We keep flipping the channel. So we don't know what we need. Well, we do, don't we? Anybody looking at any Raider game, just pick any Raider game. The first thing, when you come away, I don't care if you've never watched football before, the first thing you come away, what's the matter with them O-line? Why is the D lineman on Junty when he's handing the ball off? Why is your quarterback just running for his life every play? Why does your quarterback not even take the third step in his 3-step drop and they're on him?
Yeah.
But you could have told that for the 2024 season. It wasn't as bad in 2024 like it was last year, though. I mean,
the only thing with 2024 was the injuries, but they kept swapping out offensive linemen because this guy didn't work out. Another guy didn't work it over. So at least they were trying to mix and match to try to figure it out, because that's when Philbin came down from the booth when they went and fired everybody.
Wait a minute, we fired our O-line coach when we got rid of the great Gatsby.
Getsy, after Getsy, offensive line, they fired him.
They fired
Philbin came down, so he was trying to and the Turners.
That's right. Wait a minute. That's what I now see. We got among my guru crew, we have a little running joke among us about Uncle Ed, Uncle Tom, and Uncle Joe. They always get invited to the barbecue and sit there and drink up all the brown liquor. Every time I look up, who do you see, no matter who the coach is? Greg Olson, Philbin, the Turners. One of them is in there doing something. I can't tell whether they're part of the problem or part of the solution. Can you? But Uncle Norv, Uncle Ed, I keep saying Uncle Ed, Uncle Norv, Uncle Joe, and Uncle Greg always get invited to the barbecue no matter what. Okay, they coming. Just keep the brown liquor away from them. Hide your E and J and your Hennessy. But they come to the barbecue every year. Have you noticed that?
I have a cousin that brought in the Bud Light but drank all the Pacifico.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
They always get invited. Don't
well, he brings stuff.
You look up, and there's Uncle Greg. Uncle Greg, you know he coming.
Well, Derek Carr might be available. I know you guys to trade for him because he's still the rights are still owned by the Saints. But
Derek Carr come anywhere near this organization?
Because
why does everybody think? What? Because he was so loyal to us for 9 years. Is that what y'all think?
That and Kubiak, 2024 with the Saints.
Oh, they're friends. Kubiak did help him, by the way. That they got rid of the Sean Payton crew. They bought Kubiak, and then of course Dennis Allen got fired. But the whole point is, yes, I mean we could. It's irrelevant without the O-line getting fixed. It's all irrelevant.
True.
I don't even want to get to the quarterback. I guess we do now have to get to the quarterback. What are you guys thinking about that number one? The Raider Nation is firmly divided. Lots say they want to trade it for other picks. I want to trade it for a guard. And then Mendoza. Talk to me about Mendoza. With no O-line.
Well, anybody with that O, like I said, you could have a prime Tom Brady back there, but if he's getting hit left and right each play, it's not going to matter. Receivers ain't going to get the ball. It's handed off to the running back, and we saw that last year with Genty. He had to try to find his own holes.
And see, we have wasted 1 year of Genty's career. Please, let's not waste another year. Let's not even have a discussion. Don't tell me about draft picks. Don't tell me about JPJ. You must have veteran guards and preferably a veteran center, but definitely both guard positions. We just have to have protection for the quarterback up the middle. We just have to have holes for Genty to run through. Otherwise, you're going to have another wasted season, and you might end up firing this offensive coordinator mid-season too. Can we go for 3 years in a row? We change offensive coordinators? Don't think veteran players aren't looking at that. They're saying, Well,
like I said,
who does that? Even
with Kubiak
in the NFL don't get rid of their offensive coordinator mid-season.
Well, that's why with Kubiak coming in, everyone knows that this is going to be, at least for the first 2 years, this is going to be a building project. Who fits in, who doesn't fit in. So there is the guarantee that there will be patience for Kubiak, especially for how long the Raiders waited. Because they were interviewing everybody, and they waited because this was their guy that they were aiming for, Kubiak, from the
I don't
beginning.
trust anything because, again, you have to have a benchmark. You have to know what kind of coach fits this situation, and then who is coming to us, A, because they want to get paid, or B, because it's one of 32 jobs. Not because we're the Raiders. They ain't coming because we're the Raiders. And they want to help us. They're coming A for the money. You have to do a whole lot. I don't know what kind of guy Kubiak is yet. I know that he's been looking for a head coaching job for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only kind of guy we could ever attract. We was never going to get, hey, we were talking about this before we got on air, McDermott of the world, right? We was never going to get a Harbaugh. Of course, the Giants had jumped right on him 2 feet. I don't think he stayed on the, how long do you stay? We're never going to get a Mike Tomlin to come here. We're not going to get those kind of guys because of the way we've treated coaches. We're just not going to get those kind of guys. I mean, guys that know how to build a system.
I mean, I know that they, like you said, with Harbaugh and with Tomlin, I know, like, especially with the Steelers is part of the most a stable head coaching job in the NFL because they've only had like 4 in the last 40 years, 50 years. You know, Chuck Noll, I'm forgetting his name, but he's on the CBS.
Bill
Cowher, and then Tomlin, and then now it's going to be Mike McCarthy. But they came in, and especially like with Harbaugh, he came in after Brian Billick. So there was already something established. Like you said, we don't have a benchmark. Something established. So I don't know if I wanted them coming in because I don't want, if I wanted like Tomlin or John Harbaugh coming in, because you're not just picking up where the last guy and just, and then going with it. You're having to rebuild. Now, I wouldn't mind a Sean McDermott because he rebuilt the Bills, but he got to a point.
Bills team, he just couldn't get over the hump.
We
saw Harbaugh build that team. We saw how Mike Tomlin rebuilt the Steelers at least 5 times, okay, from scratch, staff and everything else. But we're not going to get those kind of guys, right? We're going to get a guy like Kubiak, never been a head coach before. Oh, goody. I mean, we wish him well, of course. But after the trauma of the 2025 season, when a seasoned vet couldn't do anything with us, okay, that let me know 2 more things about the organization that's making it double hard to recruit top players. They saw how we treated Devontae. They saw how we treated Jacoby. It was pitiful with Jacoby, wasn't it? Strike number 5 against Spytech, not knowing when it's time to retain a loyal, top quality player. I don't care if he isn't a number 1 receiver. I heard that stupid, idiotic nonsense. He's our number 1 receiver. We did not have a better receiver. So they just tell him, go kick rocks. Yeah, we'll talk to you later. And then, we got to trade him mid-season because he don't want to play for us no more.
Yeah.
Spytech, GM. He's got to be on top of, and he's got to fix situations before they become big problems. You either sign that guy or you trade him off season so he could start fresh with a new. No, Devontae got lied to. He came here because he was going to play with Carr, and then you go get rid of Carr. Then you wonder why. I wonder why Devontae's mad. Gaslight, neon light. I wonder why he doesn't want to play for us anymore.
I mean, I
Devontae came here to play with Carr.
I liked when Devontae got to the Raiders, but the way he exited, the way he It,
Well,
it just
some
it
guys
just seemed like he faked an injury to leave the Raiders, and then all of a sudden
they
the hamstring was
lied to him.
magically.
They stuck him with a 3-year contract, and then the reason why he came left. Not just, and he didn't just leave. The Raiders forced him out, dogged him. And then you say, I wonder why Devontae isn't playing up 100% for us anymore. Really? That's what I said. Gaslight. You know, you hit me, and then I hit you back, and then you say, why did you hit me? That's the gaslighting. You can't, there is a reason why. Yeah, Spytek. You know, the kind of things that went on that Pete Carroll, he let Pete Carroll do to him last year. It, you know, and I can understand. Again, agents and players and coaches are watching everything that went on with Devontae, everything that went on with Jacoby, everything that went on with Carr and others, how we don't even know what kind of talking in the locker room. Guys like Chason and what's that linebacker that we had? Lane. We don't even know what kind of locker room talking.
Yeah.
Players, free agents that have left are doing. They just went out.
Yeah. That was one thing we kept talking about with Spillane. Like, sign him now during the season. Don't wait till he gets to the free agency. And the Patriots, I mean, you can say some folks say they overspent.
Out. They just, who would, the dysfunction just becomes too much. You're constantly I mean, 2 offensive coordinators in 1 year. That's an organization that's just pathetic. It's just too much. And you're really not winning a lot of games on top of that. I mean, you like the coach, but then they fire him.
Yeah.
Fire Pierce. What's new? You just can't have that kind of discontinuity, that level of dysfunction. And I see Raider fans are in a fantasy. They're not dealing with reality about this. The things, our behavior as an NFL franchise, the things we have done to players, our GM, the whole way power is distributed from the GM to the head coach, it's totally dysfunctional. Need a strong GM, not a GM that's just going to do what he's told. How about that?
Yeah, and that's been
Stein Myers, Gino. Don't go. We don't need no free O-line help. You don't need to go out and get anybody. Okay. Gino wants 130 million. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't. That's not a GM. I don't care what reason he went along with Pete. If you're a GM worth your salt, you come in there and I'm in charge. I'll decide who comes and goes. You're going to tell me who you want, what you need, whether you want this guy on a team, and I'll make the last decision. Okay? And I'll tell you.
And this is where, and this is where he has Spytek has to show, like, you know, okay. I mean, because that was one thing. That was one thing we kept saying last year was, okay, so when is Spytek and they're going to tell Pete Carroll, hey, we drafted these guys, put them in there.
Play them.
We ain't going nowhere. Put him in there.
Because he has no balls. That's why. Because for whatever reason, we done hired another GM who thinks his job is to do as he's told. Go fetch a coffee at Starbucks, and don't forget to put the double shot, in the. I can't. I'm sick of it. That is part of our dysfunction. Successful franchises have strong GMs.
Mm-hmm.
And strong is, I don't care who you are, Pete Carroll, I'll decide how much I think Gino is worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll decide the length of contract, how much guaranteed money he gets, or whether I even want him on the team. Let me look at his film, and I'll get back to you.
So what do you think? Because he does have one more guaranteed year on the team, and he was supposed to play under Kubiak last year when Kubiak was the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks before we traded for Geno Smith. They haven't ruled out the Raiders moving on. Of course, they're not going to say anything now because it's still too early until they start going into,
right?
But
draft. We're really not going to know what the Raiders want to do with that quarterback position. I think we just can't tell. But like I said, I don't care who goes and who stays. I don't care whether we keep the number one or don't. I do care about vets on that O-line. Very much passionate. And I do care about a strong front office that grows a set of balls and takes charge of the future direction of this team. They've got to, that's a GM sense to benchmark.
And that was and everyone can talk about the last 10 years of Al Davis, but that's what I believe was one of like the strong suits. Like your owner is your GM, and knowing between me and the head coach, get it done or you're going to be gone. And like you said with Al Davis, but and then I just believe the last 10 years that they lost.
Not excuse Al. Al kind of gets a pass though, 3 Super Bowl trophies. But
I just think though those last 10 years of the Super Bowl, his mistake was trading John Gruden to the but at just Raider luck, we go and see him in the following year in the Super Bowl. But I personally feel that those last years, Al Davis knew because he was older and he probably was hiding that disease that he had, that when he passed away, that he was trying to hurry up and build a team of veterans. So he would have to overpay to try to get these guys coming out, into free agent. That it backfired.
It goes without saying, when you've made the kind of mistakes that this franchise has made in the last 20 years, when you treat people the way you treat them, you're just going to have to pay, we're just going to have to keep paying. We're going to have to overpay. And it's not even overpay. We have to get a commitment from these guys. We have to make it clear that this is a rebuilding team. You're not going to the playoffs for a little while. We hope you're a part of that when we do. Okay?
Yeah.
And they've also got to have confidence in Kubiak, and Kubiak's never been a head coach. That's another strike against us in the free agent market. Agents and players don't know what a Clint Kubiak looks like as a head coach. Do they? I mean,
no, because it's the same thing with McDaniels. Offensive coordinator McDaniels is not the same as head coach McDaniels. We saw that in Denver, and we decided to try it 10 years later.
God.
Same results.
Same
send
thing.
away the receiver, pissed off the quarterback.
I mean, wow. And you kind of say, well, the last time he was out, maybe he's learned something, right? No. Most coaches, that's why I go back to the good old boy coaching network. They stick with what works. What has worked.
Yeah.
When they go to a new team, they bring their own system. They don't change it. They just don't.
And that's kind of with all the flaws that people were seeing with Pete Carroll last year with the defense, the cover 3 that was used as their primary coverage.
I knew it wasn't Graham, and I feel sorry that Graham got caught up in this madness because I thought he was a good defensive coordinator. The players liked playing for him. I could tell that. They really they got better. They got better.
When they elevated Rob Leonard, the defensive line coach, to be the defensive coordinator. So he has a familiarity, especially with their front line. They're gonna run a 3-4 defense. They've been saying so. They're gonna go back to the 3-4 defense, and I believe that the Raiders, not whatever it's relevant or not, more like trivia, that they won their 3 Super Bowls in a 3-4 defense. So,
I mean, I just don't want
I just have
Raider
to say
fans,
trivia stuff.
their feelings hurt. Remember, we had a conversation around mid-season. I was on with you two guys, and you said, "I just didn't know it was going to be this bad." How could you not know?
That was me. I was hoping because that's all we can do is hope.
Number one, wide receiver. We didn't have an O-line.
True.
Right? A whole lot of vets left up out of here on free agency. So it wasn't the same defense. We had 6 or 7 new guys. How could you not know? What, they were going to coach them up?
The Kool-Aid had a strong taste to it. I was like, all right, hey, pour some more.
Grape is addictive. You got to go back and get some more. You know, you got to keep making yourself another picture.
Keep spiking it so I don't see what's going on.
You go to the refrigerator 2 a.m. in the morning, first thing you reach for the Kool-Aid.
Well, and that's what we've been doing these last couple of years, to go hire a head coach, hire offense coordinator. So us as fans have to, okay, how do these pieces fit together? That's what I was doing last year. Okay, Pete Carroll, he has all the experience, he has all the accolades, okay. And then we got Chip Kelly, who has all the experience, mostly in college, didn't do too well in the NFL, but that was as a head coach. He's just going to be offensive coordinator, okay, so maybe that fits together. But I did see that Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly,
it looked like
the only thing that they had.
Did you see it? It looked like it was no fit. So now that begs the question: we'd have done something else dysfunctional. Either that, Pete acting like he don't even know Chip, never met him. Okay,
they were in the same college division, but I don't know what he's doing.
Tell me, who hired Chip Kelly? Pete or the Raiders?
No, the Raiders.
See, whose idea was it to not let the head coach pick his offensive coordinator?
That we're still trying to figure that out back then, because they said it was a Tom Brady hire, but Tom Brady is an owner who is broadcasting, so he's not really there, and he lives in Florida, so it's not like he's there in the off season, a full time. So,
and Pete, Greg, just so you know, you said the beefing between spots. There wasn't no beefing, because he did what he was told. You don't beef with a guy that does as he's told to do. In the end, you win. Mm-hmm. We were letting once again, the head coach ran the front office. We allowed, because you put a rookie GM with a 20-year head coach. What did you think was going to happen? The balance of power is always going to go to the guy with experience.
Yeah, and especially with Pete Carroll having experience in the front office too with Seattle. So he was going to defer to Pete Carroll, which I kind of saw, okay, maybe Pete Carroll is there to teach. I was trying to fit pieces together that probably should have gone together. Maybe Pete Carroll is going to teach Spy Tech how to.
Oh, like he was going to teach them 2 quality control systems. The VP of coaching, some kind of positions they created, all with 0 experience. Pete was going to teach them too. He was going to mentor them. Is that what you want to hear? We didn't finish school. Okay.
Pete Carroll was on a 3-year, and it wasn't like a 3-year an extension. It was basically just 3 years, because you're in no hate on, but 73 starting a week 2, 74 years old. That was a tip. So all of us are trying to figure out, okay, Pete Carroll coming in. Maybe it's Chip Kelly is the heir apparent. Maybe it's maybe it's Patrick Graham.
The way most reasonable football franchises do it, they let the head coach pick his own coordinators. Okay? Why the Raiders, with all the coaching changes and all the coordinator changes that they made, why the Raiders would think that they could pick Pete? Something wrong with that story.
Yeah.
Why would they bring in an experienced guy? And why would an experienced guy say, okay, I'll let you pick my OC? No, it didn't happen. That's why the story makes no sense. It didn't happen.
It doesn't.
Some kind of dysfunction happened along the way between Pete and Chip. I do not know what it was. Okay, I don't know, but again, that tells us how bad the Pete pick was.
Yeah.
Pete's got a guy that's got to have a universe where everything revolves around him. And you know, longtime head coaches sometimes develop that kind of ego structure. Everything's got to revolve around him. So, you know, I'm the guy with all the experience, so everybody shall kneel to me, includes the front office.
I wish I could do that at work. I come in and I could tell that the offense. I could tell that the operation is all backwards, and I'm just a guy, not a new guy, been around the company for a long time. I just transferred over here, and I can tell that my boss is kind of. So and that's what I used to do too in my job. I would come in, I would wait a little bit, then I would just cause havoc and tell them this is how you're supposed to do this job, even though they're getting paid the big bucks and they can fire me whenever they want. I just come in, I put my foot down. This is what we're supposed to do. Listen to what I say. Who are you?
That's right. and nobody gets coffee until you get with the program. I think that's where we're at now, because there's been so much franchise dysfunction. And we all know from history and experience that the franchise model of the head coach as GM does not work. It just hasn't worked. Even with coaches like Parcells, Joe Gibbs, and Holmgren, all those situations, coach as down there, Bill O'Brien down there, destroyed the Houston franchise. Head coach as GM does not work. But the Raiders keep trying models that do not work. You need strong leadership in that front office. They set the agenda in the front office, not the head coach. He just goes out there, prepare the team. I'll get you the talent. You do your job. Prepare the team to play every week, and let's coach these guys up. That's your job. You don't tell me who I got to hire and how much I got to pay him. No. Give me a list. I'll get back with you. Strong leadership. As a GM, what your team needs. And there is no GM that could have come into the Raiders in 2025 and not know that we needed a serious upgrade on that O-line.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi. But see, I'm way over my time, and I'm just gonna leave it there. That's why in the off season I don't want to come on too often, but I just had to tell you what I felt about the develop. I feel nothing about Kubiak. I know nothing. I feel nothing, because I have not seen what kind of head coach he's going to be, what kind of talent he's going to get, and how he's going to coach that talent. So until I see that, love you guys, and I will talk to you. I don't know. We're going to talk close to the draft. How about that? Maybe end of March?
Yeah.
All right, then. Okay. It was wonderful. Bye.
All right. Someone did it. Peggy was too fast. I didn't get to do our outro and try to do that smooth transition. But last year was bad. Last year was very bad with everything that happened. And I did have that graphic of everything. And I know we want to just let go of last year. Last year never happened. I know, and a lot of things that happened in the last couple of years, we want to forget what happened. But what if this whole thing that happened last year was a way for our organization to reset, with the new head coach who is a first-time head coach. So the expectations, because when you look at this list, let me bring it back up. When you look at this list, we saw when John Gruden came in and replaced Jack Del Rio, John Gruden, we thought, okay, well, bring back the old glory years of the early 2000s, the 3 seasons, or the 4 seasons he was here. The last 2 were playoff seasons, and then handed over to Bill Callahan for that Super Bowl run. So we thought, okay, he's going to bring back stability. We know who he is. He's a guy who loves the organization. Took a couple years, started getting the team going. Then, of course, Raider luck. Roger Goodell stepped in and ended that. And then it just went into a whole bunch of, let's get this guy, let's get that guy. Josh McDaniels. A lot of us were not fans of that hire, but we thought, okay, well, Josh McDaniels, all right, well, then you have a short leash. Get this team going, because coming from the Patriots and whatever and all their success they did, okay, let's go. Didn't work out. A year and a half, he was gone. Antonio Pierce turned the team around, almost got to the playoffs. That was a 50-50. People were like, okay, yeah, bring him back. I was one that said bring him back more for the continuity, because I was getting tired of the carousel. Other folks are all like, he only has a year and a half of experience as a coach in general before he became the interim head coach, comes in, gets the job over guys like Jim Harbaugh, who went to the Chargers in the division. He comes a head coach, and you can clearly tell that the same AP that was coaching those final games as interim in the 2023 season, 2024, he played more so not to lose his job. Same thing with Josh McDaniels. He coached to not lose his job. The fire was gone. He was trying not to lose his job. Ended up losing his job. Pete Carroll comes in. Okay, you're a guy that I'm not going to give you time, because one, you're a little older, and but you're Pete Carroll, so you're a guy that can turn this around, right? Okay, let's go. So the leash was short, and yeah, he had the 3 years, but we all knew, all of us Raider fans knew that we are a team that needed to be rebuilt. And I kind of used the reference of my 1984 Monte Carlo that I have parked in the driveway. I keep having so many mechanics go in there, even though I know I need a new engine, even though I know I need new shocks, even though I know I need, I probably got to change the transmission now. It's been sitting for a long time. But I kept having all these new mechanics come in. Okay, oh, no. All you got to fix is the carburetor. Okay, oh, I got to fix the lifters. Okay, all these mechanics come in, changing what the last guy did. So now I don't even know. I get the book. I'm looking like, wait, that wire doesn't go there, and that cable doesn't go there, and that tube doesn't go there. All these different, like, trying to quick fix it methods. And all we're trying to do is just get it to pass smog, just to drive it. And that's the Raiders. They've been trying to get all these guys just to pass smog. Let's just get past smog so we can just throw a team out there on the field, and then we'll go from there. It doesn't work out. So now you got Kubiak. Yeah, no one knows what he can do as head coach. And, when you have these coordinators who done well as coordinator and they become head coach, it's not just, okay, you're going to come in and call plays. No, because you got to wear more hats. You got to have the head coaching hat, has to oversee the defense and what they're doing, has to oversee their offense, of course, because he's the offensive guy and what they're doing, has to see what the special team is doing, has to see what's going on when it comes to the front office, what kind of guys I'm going to bring in, whether it's free agency or the draft. So you have to, he's coming in, so you have to wear all these different hats compared to I'm just focusing on the offensive side of the ball, and whatever they give me, I'm going to make it work. So we're still going to see how that's going to go when he comes in and starts, when we start looking at the free agency coming up soon. So the new league year starts in the 11th. So just in about 2 weeks, when we get to spend some money, and then we get ready for the draft at the end of April. So it's coming up. So we're going to see. But when you have a guy like Clint Kubiak, highly, there was a lot of teams that wanted him. Raiders stayed patient to get him. So, okay, number 1 overall pick, 90% sure it's going to be Mendoza. But if you look at his numbers or what he's done with the last few quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins also was a guy that he's going to be cut. I don't know if they made it official, but he's going to be cut by the Falcons, so he'll be available. Do we bring him in just to be a bridge guy? We still got Geno Smith. I don't want Geno Smith back next year, but I wouldn't be surprised because he was supposed to play under Kubiak until we made the trade, and they got They got what am I forgetting his name? Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold, guy that we were looking at. But it all depends on scheme. It all depends on the offense. And I don't think Sam Darnold would have did all that great if he would have came to the Raiders, if he would have spent that money. Even if he would have had what's his name down in with the Rams, Matthew Stafford, if he would have came up, I don't think he would have did well because of everything, the dysfunction. And I know what Peggy's saying, but when it comes to the offensive line, and that is going to be the main thing that we need to address, the main group, because of what we've had the last 2 years. The coaching last year, we were all saying it, fire your son, Brendan Carroll, fire your son. And Pete Carroll didn't want to do it. And nobody would ask him about it at the podium. So it's kind of like we all knew that there was something going on. And we just had to sit and wait and let this season play out and hope that this season was going to be one of those wash seasons that we can do a factory reset, basically, with this organization, with the Raiders, and start fresh and start with no expectation because no one is saying we're going to make it to the playoffs. You know, and maybe when we get closer and we see the schedule, when they start, having the schedule, because last year it was back and forth. We're at home, and then we go cross country, and then we come back home, and then we go cross country, and then we come back home, then we go to Texas, and we come back home, and then we go cross country. So there's a lot of things that was stacked up. Throwaway season, throwaway year. And like I also said, you have a lot of guys who are going to be free agents that were on this team last year. So this team, like my car, needs to be stripped down to the metal, stripped down to the frame, and just build from there to get it back, not just to get it back on the road, but be like that show vehicle that people want to go over there and take pictures and not have other fans coming into the stadium, but have Raider fans come back. And I'm not going to blame the Raider fans, because if you're going to keep putting the product out there that is just horrible, that is just like it's god awful, I'm not spending money, because you're not just buying the ticket to go into the game. You're also buying a hotel to go and stay at. Hotels ain't cheap over there. You're also going to end up spending money at places, at casinos, at restaurants, at venues, different things. So it's not going like going to Oakland, where a lot of folks were taking an 8-hour drive from LA down, or from down south, drive on Oakland. I'm there for the tailgates. I'm there for the game. I might stay at a cheap Motel 6 because I don't feel like driving right now. I got too drunk at the game. I'll drive the next morning. I'll call in sick the next day. I'll drive home the next morning. Now you're going to be spending way more money going to Vegas. And for the team to be playing it the way they are, if they can make a profit, if the Raiders are going to make a profit off of me, I'm going to make a profit off the Raiders and sell the tickets to whoever. Give me 3 times the value of this ticket. I'll invest it for next season and see what happens from there. So that's how it's been the last couple of years. That's how it's been since the Raiders got to Vegas. So hopefully with this reset, there's going to be a new type of hope, not a hope of we're gonna sneak behind and take down the Chiefs. The Chiefs are starting to come down. I think the window is closing. They're going downhill now, slowly. Slowly. I'm not gonna, because they didn't make it to the playoffs last year, but 1 year removed from playoff contention, 1 year removed from the Super Bowl. So we just got to make sure we build this right. We got to make sure as fans that we have to have the patience. We have to have the patience to let this team grow, build and grow with what they have. JBJ would have gotten hurt if he was playing center. I think we all thought he was going to be the starting center, especially how he came in, because he started what, from either week 1 or 2. No, I think he was started from week 1 of the 2024 year. I know DJ Glaze came in week 2. DJ Glaze came in against the Ravens and never let go of the right tackle spot. And then JPJ ended up taking over the center spot eventually when Andre James went out with the knee injury. And he showed that was where he was most comfortable. I would like to see him get a fair shot this year at the center position. Now, if they do get a guy like the dude from the Ravens, if they do get Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens. Of course, you're going to delegate to him, have him be the center. He is the not that much older than JPJ, but he'll be the guy in the middle and have JPJ play left guard, because I believe he did better at left guard than at right guard. But I would like to see him get a fair shot. But if they do have plans to bring in somebody else, a veteran at center, then of course you delegate to that. But if you're going to build within, because it looks like that he's going to be that Kubiak likes this offensive line. And a lot of us are watching this game from last year. We didn't know what they were trying to do. We didn't know what they were trying to do with under Getsy. What kind of offense, what kind of blocking scheme they're trying to do, because you got half the line zoning and half the line down blocking. So it was all a mess. Last year was just like the mess of the mess. So we'll see what happens with that. But if JPJ, I like to see him get a fair shake at that and not fall into the politics of, well, I know what I want, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. How Pete Carroll, Brendan Carroll were doing it last year, because we don't know how everything went. All I know is people miss Oakland Raiders sandwich at tailgates last year. I'm still waiting to see if I'm retired or not when it comes to that. I got to get back into savage shape, but good to see you, Raider Puppet. Maybe 6 to 8 wins. I mean, I would take that. But this is one of those seasons that we just got to see, are they improving? I want the wins. You don't just watch the game to evaluate like Pete Carroll. It's all a practice. We're just practicing out there in week 3, and we're getting blown out. We're just practicing out there, just practice. It's a good bridge quarterback. He filled in for Joe Burrow. I like Jake Browning when he came in. But I know, isn't he? He's still kind of young, where he's going to be trying to shoot for a starting quarterback position after what he did in Cincinnati when Joe Burrow was out for most of the season. Charles Carter and Caleb plus okay. And yeah, and that's what we were saying on the show too. When it came to Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers, we're like, whatever you're putting out there right now, guys, Raiders, it's not working. Okay, we're not going anywhere. I don't know why we're not trying to put out the guys that we drafted. Let's see what we got in the draft from this past season. So if we have to go dip back into the draft to get offensive linemen, or if we have to go and spend the money in free agency, then we know that. But we never got a chance to see him until like late in the season. And they look good and they look promising. But the whole 2025 season was all mismanaged. No one knew who to blame. No one was taking accountability. Even though Geno Smith said, blame it on me. You could tell that he didn't even believe that, the way his body language was. So we have young talent. I do believe in those two guys, Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers. But we got to make sure, unless this is one of those things where, okay, we got these guys, and this is going to be one of those years where we're going to really try to build from within, meaning the young talent that we have, and then we just bring in not just proven veterans who's going to be here for 1 year, prove it and see what you got, because we did that 2 years ago, and then Chason came in mid-season, bounced back his career, and then ended up in the Super Bowl last year, and he's actually back out in free agency. So do we bring him back? We don't know what's going to happen with our edge rushers. We're still seeing what's going to happen with Max Crosby. I'm kind of moving towards, if you don't want to be here, then just go. I'm not, no hate, but I'm getting tired of, and I know people can say it's driven by the media. Oh, well, this is Kay Adams saying this, and this is Jay Glazer saying this, and this is so-and-so saying this, and Tom Pelissero saying this and all that. But there's no, the language that was used last year was, I want my guaranteed money. Guys get hurt. They don't get paid. I want to make sure I'm guaranteed. Okay. So they gave him the money. They gave him the extension. They even gave him an extra $6 million going into the offseason of 2024, I believe, when Tom Telesco was hired. and AP was made dropped the interim tag to be the head coach. So they just gave him $6 million. So the Raiders did everything they can to keep him happy. And if you're still not happy, then hey, and I get it. The Raiders are going to be rebuilding again. You know, you've had 2 injury plague seasons. That 2024 season, you were hobbled and you was trying to push it through until you couldn't do it no more. Until AP, which he doesn't talk about the AP, had to sit you down, and you said, okay, fine, got the surgery, rehabbed for this coming season, and then had the knee injury in that in that Chiefs game when you got cut, and it wasn't a dirty block as offensive lineman. It wasn't a dirty block. It's a harsh block when the guy dives for your legs, but it wasn't a dirty block. And apparently he got the meniscus injured, and he tried to play for the rest of the season, and they shut him down. A lot of us are saying, you know, hey, shut it down, because we ain't going anywhere. And now he's upset, whether it is with the trainer, Alex Guerrero, Tom Brady, whoever, the Raiders. You guys did this because you guys wanted the number 1 pick. We ain't going anywhere. So I don't know. Blame the market. I blame the job market on Geno Smith. Well, he's got all the money, and he ain't doing nothing. I wish I could do that. I wish I could either be a Raider quarterback. No, they get killed. I wish I could be a Raider head coach. I do 1 year and then fire me, but I'm set for life for $10 million. Or I don't know. I think AP got like $3 million. I don't know what it was. Let's see. Chop block is a dirty move from O-lineman so they can take a person. It as I said, it's not a nice block. It's not a nice block. But as offensive linemen, we had a couple plays where we had to dive at the defensive lineman's legs, or I played tackle, so I had to dive at the defensive end's legs, and it's an offensive line and the defensive line. There's a fight. That's the one thing I love about offensive line is you're in a fight every single play, and you never get taken unless you get hurt or you're no good. You never get taken out the game as an offensive lineman. You are part of those 5 guys, and you're just fighting every play. Sometimes you got to fight dirty, the Raider way. Bob Brown had the thumb, the broken thumb for all them years, heavily taped. Went and jab a guy underneath the rib cage with that thumb to kind of slow him down. Sometimes you got to do stuff like that. I used to face mask guys a lot. I never got caught. I used to face mask guys a lot. And I used to do holding. I used to hold a lot, but they wouldn't see it. And the phrase, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And Raider rule number 1, cheating is encouraged. And number 2, refer to number 1. Wrestling taught me to spar when the O-line does it. And that's a meta of fun. Offensive line is fighting the defensive line. Defensive line is fighting the offensive line. They get that head start because they're running forward. And as offensive linemen, we have to try to catch and stop and then steer them out. Well, I play tackle, so I have to steer them out. I have to redirect their momentum. So that's how that went. What's up, Demon King? We got to get you up soon because we got to talk draft soon, especially with the way the media, some people in the media are trying to turn away now that the Raiders could be getting Mendoza, 99% sure that they're going to get Mendoza. Well, I don't think I like Mendoza anymore. Not for the Raiders. No, he doesn't do anything overwhelming. I just don't. So I got to get Demon King on here soon with his expertise. He is the he is the college expert. So, but yeah, I do think that this year it's going to be different because the expectations are going to be low. I believe that maybe Kubiak can turn around and have Aiden O'Connell be the starter, and even if they do draft Mendoza, have him sit back. Or maybe that's just me thinking that I'm one of those guys. I'm a big O'Connell fan, so maybe that's just me. If I turned you away from this channel, then hey, it is what it is. Because over here we are Team Ramrod. Over here, me and Asylum. So, but this is gonna be one of those years where we don't know anything. We got nothing to base it on. We can base it on Pete. We can base it on Clint Kubiak's offenses that he's ran throughout the years, especially this last one. I know he wants to do more so of a running back by committee, and I also heard that he wants to bring back a fullback, which I love that idea. You know, the fullback in my generation is John Ritchie, so bring back the fullback, have that guy take the initial hit and open a hole for Genty or whoever to to make plays and not be bombarded right when the ball is handed off to him and all the offensive linemen get beat, and now he has to be Barry Sanders and try to juke guys behind the line of scrimmage just to get 2, 3, 4 hard yards. So we're gonna see how that goes this season. I do have what's up, Raider Sing? I got to text you. I got your card, and I'm been meaning to text you, so I got to text you, so you can have my number. So second round, there are going to be some good players combine showing there's some hidden gems, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna see. Lakitake is a fullback. Hey, I wanted Lakitake to come in and play offensive line. How bad we were, but you got him at fullback. You got that big dude back there at fullback. I'll take it. If he can do it, I'll take it. He gonna stop 2 blitzing linebackers for Janty to come around the side and run for like 20 yards. So I'll put him back there. I hope we still got the rights to him. I know he was on the practice squad, so I hope he's still in the organization, and we can actually use him for something, because I know he was one of those. He was one of those project players that the Raiders got from the Ravens, I believe. Young players still trying to make it. They're like the international players. So he comes in, have him be the Zach Crockett, have him be the refrigerator Perry, and have him be the goal line back. Hey, I don't care. You use that guy. That guy is gonna run through the offensive line and run through the defensive line. You don't need a tush push for that guy. He will be the tush push, the one man tush push. We should draft trade down in the second draft, J-Rod and safety from Oregon. And this is why we got to get you on here, Demon King. We got to get you on here so we can hear, because that's we had Demon King on here last year, and he gave me his list of guys that we wanted to look at. He had a lot of good offensive linemen who got picked before it was our turn to pick. And I was all like, man, I want those guys now. So we're gonna bring him in soon. Yeah, we'll get that set up. I got to finish the rest of those graphics of the Dylan Thielman. What's up, Vincent? Yeah, I got to get those graphics finished so we can go and talk about the draft. I know, like I said, we got the free agency coming up soon, so I got all those free safeties that are going to be available. Cornerbacks that's going to be available. Eric Stokes, I know we got to be. A lot of us want to try to re-sign Eric Stokes because he showed a lot of promise coming in last year, and and I criticized Palomar last year, but now I was kind of hearing more that this was a Pete Carroll influenced defensive coverage that he was trying to go with against Patrick Graham's defense that he's built with the team those 3-4 years he was here. That it could have been just Palomar's a decline this past season could have been because of the mismatch of coverages and philosophies between Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham. So, and that's the same thing I said about the offense 2 years ago with Getsy is you can't really judge on what we have because of everything that had happened. Getsy's offense the philosophy wasn't good. And when you saw the way the offensive linemen were playing, the Keystone Cops running into each other, it was hard to evaluate what we had because they were, the direction was bad. Then you got Brendan Carroll last year and Chip Kelly. You heard all these great things in training camp and everything, and then you go to the season, had that great game against the Patriots on the road in the rain, and we're like, oh, okay, we might have something, and then they went downhill from there. And the offensive line couldn't block nobody. Jency wasn't getting the ball, and when he did get the ball, the defense was able to key it on him. And then Geno Smith started seeing ghosts. He forget what team he was on. All the interceptions that he threw, it just became one of those more so of, okay, are we going to throw 2 interceptions today or 3 interceptions today? Is Jency going to get more than 5, 6, 7 carries before the first half? This backwards philosophy, or we're trying to control the game first, and then we'll have the run to close it out. It doesn't work that way. So we're going to be starting fresh this year, and we're going to go from there. Maybe this is the delusional Raider fan coming back again, because after last year, at the end of last year, I'm done with this. Not done with the team. Of course, we're all sitting here again watching Raider content, but I'm done believing in this team. Yeah, I'm still going to be a fan, but I'm done having hope. And maybe now that everything has been healed, new head coach, a new blind hope, I guess you can say. And we're going to start going into the free agency. We'll see more when it goes to the free agency, if we're going to actually spend the money to get some guys in. Who can we attract to come in? And what the players that we're getting, what kind of offense and what kind of defense that we're going to set to try to run with the players that we're spending money on to come in. Because we haven't really had, I think, outside of Christian Wilkins, which I'm still waiting to see what happens with that whole ruling. But outside of Christian Wilkins, we haven't really made a splash. We haven't really had a splash free agent signing in years. And probably before that was the trade for Devontae Adams, but that was a trade. We gave up a couple of picks for him, and that didn't work out. And I get what Peggy's saying, but I still believe that he forced himself out. Oh, no, I'm forgetting his name. Jacoby Myers. Yeah, he said I want to trade, but he still showed up. He still played. In the last 2 games, the effort was declining a little bit, but we weren't getting the ball to him. So I get it, whatever. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens. Asylum might be off again next week because he is on assignment. So I gotta see who I can bring in to take over, or if there's even news, because there wasn't really news. And Peggy said, "Hey, I want to come on Friday." I said, "Okay, let's make it happen." We missed you, and it's been a while since you came on. And I want to hear what she has to say when it comes to the new coaching hires that we have and going forward. So I said, "Yeah, let's do it." So we kept our weekly streak going. We didn't have a Wednesday show. We had a Friday show. For those who are looking for that Wednesday show, I just postponed it a couple of days. It was getting the graphics done. But let me just run through this real quick, and then we'll close it out. Rob Leonard, with him coming in, we kept saying this on the show that we liked Rob Leonard getting elevated to defensive coordinator. I know he's unproven when it comes to building schemes and everything. And a lot of folks were saying that maybe it's because this is again what Miss Peggy was saying. Oh, the Raiders are hiring their coordinators, and it might have looked that way, but he does have ties to McDonald with the Ravens. McDonald, the coach for the Seattle Seahawks, that Quebec just came from. So, and then there was another tie. I forgot what the other tie was, but everyone had great praise for him, familiarity with the players. So even though we don't have Patrick Graham coming back, you do have a guy that knows the personnel that's still on the team so far. And when it comes to that defensive line, he could be a guy that can put together stunts, put together defensive line, schemes and with the guys that because everything starts in the trenches and then go from there. So then they also retained Joe Woods for the DB coach and the pass game coordinator. So with those two guys, they know their personnel, make it work together to try to put this team at least try to bring the defense back to what was being built before last year and Pete Carroll and everything. So that's also good. Good night, all. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you, son. All right, well, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So yeah. We're going to see what happens this year. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to see who they're going to spend money on when it comes to free agent and the free agent market. Because the one thing that we do need to do is get that offensive line. If it's not going to be with the guys that we have, get some guys in here, get some veterans in here. Like car insurance, I don't know if there's a phrase they even put out there for Mendoza insurance. I don't know. But, you get guys like here, I wasn't a big Illuminor fan when he was with the Raiders. Trent Brown, remember him with the Twinkies. So I'll pass on him too, but we'll get more into that. I saw Braden Smith in the comments. So we'll see what the Raiders do with that, because this is what Peggy's saying. I will agree that this is where Spy Tech, okay. There's no more excuses. Pete Carroll, okay, he's a senior, no pun intended, but he's a senior. Has been around the league and been in front office with the Seahawks, and two Super Bowls, one ring. So I don't know if it was just kind of like let him do what he wants to do, and then we'll see what happens. But this is where Spy Tech, okay, whether it's you by yourself or you and Brady, you're gonna be. This is you now. So you're the adult in the room now. You're going to be the one that goes and calls most of the shots. So this would be your off season to prove that you were the right guy for GM and to get this team and this organization turned around for the future, so we can start winning games. Because I only seen one Super Bowl as a Raider fan. I only seen one Raider Super Bowl live. Well, not live. Well, yes, live. I wasn't in San Diego, but I got to see them go to the Super Bowl. I was in the stadium up in Mount Davis when they beat the Titans. And I only seen one Super Bowl, and that was the game against the Buccaneers. And that's the only time I seen the Raiders in the Super Bowl. I finally got to see my Warriors win a couple championships, but when they were in Oakland and when they were in San Francisco, a couple years ago. But I want to see the Raiders, a lot of us fans who've seen the Raiders in the glory years 40 plus years ago, fans who were there in the early 2000s when we saw them come back and they were in the championship game a couple times, and then for the fans that only seen, who are young, because that was 20 something years ago, when they went to the Super Bowl in 2022. I don't like saying that because that means that was 20 something years ago for me. I'm 40 now. Can be 41 soon. But for the young fans who only seen 2 playoff appearances, 2 losses, so this team needs to turn around, and if they got to start building from scratch right now, then I'll take it. Let's go. We've been patient this long. I can be patient 2 more years if this is a 2-year plan. So with that said, I want to say thank you for everyone who was watching. Thank you, Miss Peggy, for coming on. We'll see if this will be every other Friday thing. She is busy, but she made time. Usually she doesn't do off seasons, but she said, I want to come on. So I said, we got to make that happen. So well, I thank everybody for watching. I saw our numbers were good. I saw up to 15, 16 people live watching. I appreciate. And I saw some new people in there too. So if you're new and it's your first time watching, make sure you go and subscribe to the channel, The Cage Match Show. Right now we're Friday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific. And then during the season, that's what we do. Wednesday nights, 5 p.m. during the season, Pacific time, and then during the season we do Friday nights. But if Peggy's going to come on every other Friday, we're going to make that happen. We'll make that exception for her to come on, and then we'll have 2 shows again, like we did. But big off season coming up when it comes to the Raiders and the off and the free agency market, and then of course the #1 overall pick. Are we going to go with the quarterback or Raider? Are the Raiders going to Raider? Because we're all nervous, And we all like, what are we gonna do? Yes, this is what we're supposed to do. Well, what are we gonna do? So, and then I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you, Raider Singh, after we're done with the show, because I need you. I want to give you my number. Raider Singh came into the event in San Leandro at Ricky's, and we're honoring Tom Flores. He went out and performed. So I want to thank him for that too. My boss set that up, so thank you, my boss, and of course Raider Man. I was I hung out with Raider Man last weekend, so we were doing some stuff out in Oakland. So I want to thank Raider Man who also came to that event. I want to try to do that again. We can do it better, bigger and better. Trade down. Hey, you get a lot of picks. You know, I still want to see more tape of Mendoza. I'm just in the come on Raiders, just don't screw it up. Whatever you do, I hope you have a plan this time. That's my thing. You just better have a plan this time, okay, and not let whoever come in just brand new to the organization. All right, we're gonna do this and that, and then we go have another 3 and whatever, 4 and whatever team. So I don't want to keep being in the top 10, picking in the top 10 every single year. Okay, so Damien King said, just do it, kid. Like Nike, just do it. All right. That's our show. Want to thank everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week. Asylum probably won't because he's on assignment right now. So we'll see. I gotta figure out something. I don't know if Jeff wants to come on early before his show and come on. We could talk Raider stuff. I don't know. I'm about to get a hold of him. So hey, I'm down. Let's do something at my venue. I'm down, Raider Singh. Let's go. Let's go. All right, everybody. Everyone take care. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you on the next one. Shouts out Raider Nation and everyone in the chats. Thank you very much. Peace out.
All you other NFL teams, your tailgates are weak. Your teams are weak. We might be down right now, but it doesn't take away the history. And all you Raiders out there need to know your fucking history of who the fuck you playing for and where the fuck you're playing. Damn it. Oh, and by the way, I won my last cage fight again. I'm still undefeated. And you NFL motherfuckers out there that you think you want some, come on and get some anytime.